We begin tonight with the story of honorable service and the ultimate sacrifice. A group of Marines killed Friday during a NATO training exercise in Norway when their military aircraft went down. We have learned that one of those Marines was 24-year-old Corporal Jacob Moore, who was from Catlettsburg. News Channel 3's Kelsey Soto sat down with Moore's family, hurting that he is gone, but proud of a young man who gave his all, protecting and defending his country.
They're great pictures.
It's always something to hear parents talk about the pride they feel for their children.
I mean, just oozing out of me of how proud I was.
You could almost use the Legos he would build as a parallel to Jacob's life, elevating himself up to be the best he could be. That mentality helping to prepare him for the oath he would eventually take to protect and defend his country. In August of 2018, he fulfilled a childhood dream of joining the military and became a U.S. Marine.
I made sure every day I got to the mailbox and sent my daily letter.
On Friday, the Osprey he was flying in disappeared in Norway during a NATO training exercise. For several agonizing hours, there was deafening silence.
We just didn't know for sure, and we just kept praying that, they're all together, taking care of themselves, because they're in a really remote spot.
When news first broke of the missing aircraft, Michelle says she knew in her heart he was gone.
God laid it on my heart that I knew he was in heaven. And I just knew that was him. God's saying he's with me now.
Corporal Jacob Moore and 3 others died in the crash. Then came the dreaded steps to their door.
I've never in the world thought I'd see 2 Marines standing at my door at 2 o'clock.
You've seen it in the movies and you've seen it, just that happen to you. It's just like, you lose it.
The 24-year-old Marine and graduate of Boyd County High School made it his mission to maintain personalized and individual relationships with each and every member of his family, sending morning Snapchats to Dad.
He sent these 8 o'clock that morning on Friday to tell you the accident.
Swapping music with his sister, sharing a daily Bible verse with his girlfriend.
Be strong and courageous and do not be afraid.
Mike Steele may be known as Papa, but to Jacob, he was inspiration.
And I served my country. He served his country, but he died for his country. And like I said, I need to honor that boy so much. He's just a good human being. I know he's in heaven. I know I'm going to go to heaven and sing one day. That's just good. That's what's the best part, that knowing that.
This fierce protector carved out special time for those who loved him ferociously, finishing phone calls with their favorite words.
And then Savannah come into his life, and
that was a special story, because
he just fell in love with her, and they had such plans.
He went a long time without a girlfriend or anything, and I think God just brought them together at that last minute so he could die with that love in his heart too.
Sibling Hannah, just 2 years apart and thick as thieves, got choked up in Walmart this weekend, where he used to work in high school, when she spotted this Spider-Man hat, reminding her of her goofy partner in crime.
He would laugh so hard at this.
His parents want to thank those who moved mountains in treacherous weather conditions to recover the missing Marines.
If they were here, I'd hug them, every single one. That thank you for getting my boy, because we didn't know if we were going to get him back. And that's just one more piece of closure.
So many in the community pouring out tears and prayers. For the family, the ask is simple. Keep Jacob's memory alive and carry his spirit with you always. A boy who became a man everyone could be proud of. His family now leaning on the cross and one another to help carry them through. Kelsey Soto, WSAZ News Channel 3, Catlettsburg.
As News Channel 3's Kelsey Soto shows us, today was the chance for Eastern Kentucky to offer up a hero's welcome to one of their own.
A family bravely and proudly awaiting the arrival of their most precious national treasure. The silence symbolizes respect for 24-year-old Corporal Jacob Moore, a decorated hero returning home to those who knew and loved him best.
I'm going to quote a regional author from Huntington, West Virginia, in saying that America without her soldiers would be like God without his angels. And God has gained an angel in Jacob.
The family using their faith as a sense of comfort and also a source of strength as heavy hearts make way for the peace that angels bring. Kelsey Soto, WSAZ News Channel 3, Catlettsburg.
At 24 years of age, a Marine from eastern Kentucky filled the greatest debt that he could offer to his country and laid down his life protecting our freedoms.
Corporal Jacob Moore, a graduate of Boyd County High School, died last month alongside 3 other Marines in a NATO training exercise in Norway. And today, the community looked to repay some of his sacrifice by offering prayers, support, and kindness to the family, who say they hope his story changes the lives of others. News Channel 3's Kelsey Soto takes us to that service for a true show of strength and grace that were on full display.
You stood on the side of the street. You've held a flag. You saluted. You stood at attention.
And you did it for this Marine, Corporal Jacob Michael Moore, who fought not because of the battle ahead, but for those he left behind.
One day, after the dust is settled, I want you to know I can feel your prayers and mine.
The last 17 days have been grueling for Mom Michelle. She lost her only son in a military accident on March 18th. Today, with the same bravery Jacob brought to his missions, she addressed the crowd at the funeral, sharing precious moments and memories, thanking those around her for the guiding hands and faithful heart.
And this community has shown such an outpouring of love for Jacob that will forever change my life.
While his years were cut short, they carried great significance. His family now hoping his story will motivate others and encourage them to do more.
I know I will miss many things going forward, but I won't pretend to know or question the mind of God.
And much like the mark Jacob leaves on his hometown, the skies will burn as a reminder.
You will open your heart to the Father, so one day you too will meet my boy in heaven.
Etched into the heavens where Jacob awaits his next and best mission yet. Kelsey Soto, WSAZ News Channel 3, Boyd County.
A highway in Boyd County bears a new name, and it carries with it the story of Corporal Jacob Moore of Catlettsburg, Kentucky.
Some people spend their whole life striving and seeking perfection, and many fall short. Corporal Jacob Moore was not one of them.
Like he said, great warrior. And he's my warrior in heaven now.
4 months ago, when Michelle lost her only son to tragedy overseas, she made it her mission to make sure her perfect boy was remembered for his service and sacrifice.
Naming a road is a big deal. You know, the roads are what we take to get our families to church, our kids to school, how we get to work, how we go see people we haven't seen in long enough, how we get to places that we make special memories. And so Jacob is going to be a part of so many families' memories.
Governor Andy Beshear fulfilled this mother's wish as he stood before a crowd of community members, family, and friends to announce the renaming of parts of Kentucky 180 and Kentucky 3 to Corporal Jacob M. Moore, USMC Memorial Highway. It's a route the family passes daily, and now passerbys will be reminded, while others will be encouraged to look up his story. It was a day built around details.
The sign that we're going to unveil today is actually the second sign, because the first one wasn't perfect enough for our sign maker. He looked at it, listen, it looked great, but it wasn't perfect, and that's what he wanted.
Typically, these signs take some time to hang, but crews and volunteers were dedicated to the cause. They headed out immediately following the service, as Jacob's family looked on, watching the moment their son's name became a permanent mark on this hallowed ground forever.
Right there, it's one way. He will not be forgotten. And it's a beautiful son, and that name just glistens in my eyes.
Now, no rain or shine or time can wash away his legacy.
A perfect sign for a perfect young man from a perfect family. God bless y'all. We love you.
Kelsey Soto, WSAZ News Channel 3, Boyd County.